I seem to be a video making machine this week. I've got a bunch of inspiration, but inspiration comes when inspiration comes. So, in the shower about midnight last night, this popped in as a fully formed download, if you will, about the old and the new paradigms for spiritual awakening itself. And there's something changing now. We are awakening in a new way. The old way, you could say, and I have several lifetimes of doing this myself, the old way was when it was so dark on earth, it was so much the dark ages, the compression was ruled in a way. Jesus might have said it, my kingdom is not of this world. This is not where my principles fully work yet. And in the Vedic yogic tradition, it was that you had to meditate inward and ascend out of the body. You had to do your chakra system. You didn't fully express the first, second, and third chakras in the earth plane. You couldn't. You couldn't express your survival instinct healthily, or your sexuality openly, or your intuition, your belly freely, or even your heart fully openly. It was really not of this world, true awakening. Therefore, it was retreating into monasteries, secret societies, high on the mountain, secret techniques, the Taoist mountain, Huashan mountain in China, the secret societies on Kailas mountain, where Shiva lives, in India, in Tibet, secret society, Rosicrucians, whatever, the Illuminati turned, bad to controlling the planet. These secret societies, all the way down to the Masons, had to keep the knowledge esoteric, hidden, secret, occult, which simply means hidden. That was the old paradigm, because the general vibration energy on the earth couldn't handle a full-on openness back to the kingdom of heaven on earth. In other words, we're not doing the lion shall lay down with a lamb on earth for the last remembered history. There was a time when we did that. So it hasn't been safe, because even we've polluted and affected nature even itself to the point where the animals are polluted with a kill or be killed system. This kill or be killed system is not original intention, the original plan or the ultimate plan for Earth, which is what she's going back to now. So here's what's changed. Instead of having to hide the knowledge, instead of having to ascend out, just do the yoga, the Ida and the Pingala, the Caduceus, do the ascending out the crown chakra and leaving behind. In other words, we weren't able to do full human expression. Even masters like Babaji or Jeshua, Jesus or Yogananda or St. Francis, they aren't allowed to be fully human. Look at our even popular teachers today. I love Eckhart Tolle, for example. But he still has to, such a large public role, be very demure, very sort of emotionless, and very peaceful for it to be accepted full on. If he mixed some heavy metal with Eckhart Tolle, it would be a little much for us. We couldn't handle Eckhart playing bass in Metallica or something. We can't deal with that level of expression of humanity, of feelings and sexuality. We can't take it in our teachers, right? So that's what's changing now. What's changing now is that we're going to do the full incarnation, the full infleshation. And that's, Jeshua tried to do it. Jesus was human. He did have a wife or a woman partner in Mary Magdalene. And the little told truth is, and here we're going to talk about a little bit of this esoterically, the 12 is everywhere. Astrologically, the 12 zodiacs, the precession of the equinoxes as the earth proceeds through the ages, right? The cycle of the ages, because the earth is tilted a little bit. Now entering the age of Aquarius, coming out of the age of Pisces. We have this magic number of 12, right? The 12 disciples, apostles, the 12 months, right? The 12 astrological signs. 12 is very powerful. Little forgotten, of course, is that Mary Magdalene also had her 12 priestesses. So there was actually 12 plus the 1, which makes the magic number 13, right? The 13 number. Years ago, I saw the vision of what's coming on earth. At some point, I saw the 26, which is the 13 men, the 12 functions, the 12 astrological energetic signs, the fully incarnational cycle of a soul, incarnating fully in the earth experience. You'll participate in all 12 signs. You'll be all 12 signs at different parts of your soul journey. And then the 13th as the representative of the source, the oneness, the coalescing of all those 13 signs. I know it's getting a little esoteric here. But so imagine that for the male and the female, Jesus, if you will, and Mary Magdalene, or Shiva and Parvati, or God and Goddess, right? Of the Celtic traditions, the God and the Goddess. So you have the 26, the 13 women, 13 men, and then you can play out, feel that, all the 12 signs, all the 12 aspects of maleness and the 12 aspects of femaleness. So playing out this 13 men, one in the middle, and then the 12. And as that one in the middle gets to play out and have reflected to him in the circle of the stones, Stonehenge, circles of stones, you get anchored into these 12 different aspects, the zodiac aspects, Sagittarius, etc., and so forth. That get, and I'm not an astrologer, I get that intuitively. I saw years ago how astrology works, and how we're imprinted with our planets, because we're actually expanded, feel this one, expanded across the planets. As you incarnate and fleshate, you're actually getting that imprint of where the planets are at that time. Here's Mercury, here's Earth, here's Venus, here's Saturn, here's Jupiter, and then Neptune, and so forth. And your soul contracts from that large space into being born. So that imprint is then in your energetic field. It makes sense. It's just science. So the 13 men, 13 women. 2 circles. The woman can play out all her aspects of the one standing in the center can be all 12 different aspects of femininity. And so can the man be the 12 different aspects, Taurus, so forth, right? Whatever, Leo, Aquarius. Play it out with each other. That's the 26, the 13 men and the 13 women. I've seen us doing this to help instigate, crack, undo the current lockdown creation that has disconnected us from Source. Now, whether we do that in the etheric kingdom or actually we will be doing it as well. It's happening now in the etheric worlds, but it will be happening in the earth as well. This is when we're going to undo that epoch, that eon, that cycle of what the earth has been until now. So here's what's changing. Before this time, the old mystery schools, for souls that really said, I want to go home and back to Source oneness, they had to do it internally in secret mystery schools. They couldn't do it involving publicly sexuality, emotions, these early chakras, right? The lower, they're not lower, the first 3 chakras, security, sex, you're feeling your belly and your heart, the pivot point, as above, so below. The heart is the pivot point, yeah? So we weren't able to do that back then. So those old traditions are secret societies, guru-disciple, secret teaching, not for public dissemination or even available to the public. It was by invitation only, and you had to pass all these initiations and tests. That's changing now. What's changing is that now, instead of ascending out of here, God, I'm out of the earth experience, thank you, I'm done, we're bringing heaven into earth. There's the internal ascension. There's the descending into, fully incarnating, and then from within, expressing, effulging, expressing, pressing the light out, and transmuting our bodies, and our sex, and our emotions, and all parts of us. Every single cellular unit, atom, photon, quanta of energy is then transmuted, transfigured. Yeshua did it, Jesus did it, and others do it too. Now he had a public role. It was pretty tough. Didn't end up that well. Crucified, bloodletting, etc. Not an exciting time had by anybody. So what's changing now is that instead of suppressing the sexuality, for example, it's going to be incorporated into the body, corporeal, corpse, so forth, right? We're awakening our corpse, are incorporating into the body this awakening, this energy from within. So here's the short message of it all. There was a lot of talk about that. Instead of the old way of having to keep it secret and doing the Kundalini awakening, the Holy Ghost awakening, the merging and so forth, and basically you're looked upon as a freak the old way. All saints were sort of freaks and freaked out and would freak out churches, and if they were public at all, they didn't understand them. They thought they were insane. And it's still that way today. What's changing is now we're going to be doing it in the earth, in the body. We're doing it from within. As above, so below, right? We're going to be bringing it down, grounded into the earth. And we're going to be allowing, for example, sexuality to be fully part of the spiritual experience. And I'm not talking namby-pamby tantra, gazing into each other's eyes, and can get very, very creepy. But it's going to be the innocent heart, the playfulness. Instead of all this learning on earth, we're here to learn in lessons. No. It's going to be just expressing, just play, just because you want to, just because it's exploring, just because it's enjoyable. So it's a huge shift. Instead of having to ascending out of here, we're descending heaven into the earth and then expressing outward in our bodies and fully activating our bodies. Activating our emotions, activating our sexuality. It's going to be expressed out into the earth, and this is going to change the very structure here on earth. It's going to change the reality here on earth, and the lion will lay down with the lamb. When the humans again express this fully, we will be organic, physical, and flesh, and light at the same time. We're on the cusp of beginning this now. So this is the change of the ages. This is the change of having to get out of here because it's so dark and heavy down here, to actually bringing God, heaven of earth, the incarnation, the second coming, the fullness of the source God that we are, into the flesh, and the flesh then actually expressing it, the body expressing it. It's a huge change. We're going to include sex. We're going to include emotions. We're going to include our feelings, our energies. Instead of having to transcend or rise above them, we're coming down into them and activating, including them. I hope this makes some sense. It's really on the cusp. We're just beginning this now, really. There's going to be more and more of you attracted to this, exploding all the paradigms of how we have relationship. Now remember that 13 men, 13 women, all those 12 aspects, impersonal, transpersonal spirituality, meaning you are not caught in the you are my partner, I own you. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. How's that worked out for us? Having just one partner. Pretty much a hell on earth, right? Mirror, mirror on the wall, my partner drives me up the wall, right? That's what goes on in relationships. So that's going to change into a... see, it's very hard to tell it. You're going to be able to have a village, if you will, or more aspects of yourself to have relationships with. All right, take some of that in. Listen to this a couple of times and just absorb what I'm saying. We're not having to ascend out of here. We're descending into here, bringing the light into the earth, then expressing it horizontally like the cross, right? Outward. We're bringing it down and then expressing it around. The 7 directions, not just 4. The old native way is just 4 directions. No, there's heaven and earth, that's 6, and then the final direction is the 7th, and that is inside your timeless, spaceless heart, the eternal sourceness of the heart. We are that ultimate Merkaba. We are the ultimate traveling machine. Because we are the 7 directions embodied. We're bringing it down this time. And I know we're pioneers doing this, and a lot of the world is going to go through very difficult times during this process, because it is no respecter of personal egos, this process. The galaxy cannot wait on you making sure you feel all safe. So this is happening. So the best thing you can do is to get on with the program, get with the new, get with what's happening. Surf the 1,000-foot tsunami, 5 years ago I wrote that article, Surfing the 1,000-foot tsunami. That's our choice. The galactic tsunami is happening. All right. More later. Check out the books, Awakening Souls, Listening to the Sun on Amazon, and check out the personal processes I was inspired to do a couple of years ago, the Inner Body Awakening and the Alchemy Energy Process. Practical, down-to-earth ways of actually getting this light moving inside your own body. Because reading about it is not enough. Doing it is doing it. Being it, embodying it. You might understand all this stuff, but doing it is very different, and it's enjoyable, pleasurable. I love feeling God inside my body. There's no better orgasm in the universe than to feel God inside your body. So I encourage you to do it. Do that. Just do it.